Charmaine, and my guest today has been in the entertainment industry for over 30 years. Her film credits include Bad Santa, Death of Smoochie, and she even made world history as the first little person female lead in the internship games. And she's here today to talk about Lifetime's Little Women LA. I want you to help me welcome Miss Tonya Renee Banks to the show. Welcome.
Thank you, Miss Lady Charmaine, for having me on the show.
Yeah, well, I'm so glad to have you here. And I know on last night, you guys got some great news because now the cast of Little Women is growing. Elena is pregnant with twins. How is this great addition going to be added to the show? Is she going to be getting her own spinoff? Because I know Terra did. So how is this going to work into the show?
Okay. My daughter's grown, so I've been there, done that. So with the new additions, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be, a lot of mama bears.
I was about to say. Because now that your baby grown, and now you and relationships. Let's just talk about relationships. And so now you got friends with babies, and they're doing it all over again. So now getting together, now they got to get babysitters. That's why. How is this new addition going to work into the show? So I know this is something that we all got to watch. So I know it's going to be very interesting.
Exactly. It's a new avenue for a lot of, especially for Elena. It's going to be a whole new, a different life. It's just because once you have a child, it totally changes your life. But she's very mature for her age, and I know she'll be able to handle it. And she has a great husband who's there, so that she'll do very well.
Now, as a little person being pregnant, I know it can, sometimes be difficult. But what is it like for a little person to be pregnant with twins? What is that like on a little person's body?
Girl, I do not know because I only had one. This is exciting. This is going to be very exciting. I hope we were telling her, we were like, okay, because she's, into makeup and she don't go out the house without contour and everything. And I'm like, girl, that makeup is going to go out the window once you had a baby. And she's like, no, I still going to do my makeup. I said, okay, we'll see. Time will tell.
Yeah, because not just one, there's two. There's two babies.
Right. So she's going to have help. But, her mother's going to be out here. So her mother will be out here to help her. And so we'll see. She has all of us, too. Because, like I said, my child is grown, so I'll be able to help. And she has her husband. So, but as far as the two coming out of her body, she, even with the average person having twins, it could be tough, and they could be on bed rest. After a length of time. But, like I said, this is the first that I've seen it, or witnessed it. So time will tell. We'll see what happens. Hopefully she'll be able to, go as long as possible where both of the babies will be, lungs will be totally developed since that's the last thing, last organ that develops. And, she would definitely have to have a C-section. She's like, I think I want to have, what did she say? Before she found out it was twins, she was like, I think I want to have natural birth. We're like, girl, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. It's not possible. She's like, well, I'm going to try. I'm like, well, whatever doctor told you can, you need to go to another doctor. You need to run away from that one.
Now, why is it not possible for a little person to have a natural birth?
Because our pelvic area is too narrow. And a lot of our cervix are tilted. We have tilted cervix. And so it's just too narrow down there, the way our spine curves in our back. And so that's why, like, when we're pregnant, if you look at us from the front or from the back, you can't even tell we're pregnant because the baby goes straight out because of the spine, and it can't fit through the hips. And her type of dwarfism, she has hip issues anyway.
Wow.
So, you know, I'm like, whatever. So I'm like, you know, she's the type of person who, you know, she's a lot like me. Well, when our mind is made up, nobody can tell us anything.
Right.
Right. You know, time will tell. She, you know, once it happens, she'll be like, "You was right, Tonya." I'm like, I know.
Well, what great friends you guys are. And see, Tonya, you've been in this business for over 30 years. Why did you decide to go into the entertainment industry?
Actually, it was kind of like put in my ear from my dad when I was like 5 years old. I mean, like, he had, like, because I was a daddy's girl, and he literally had a dream about me before I was even born. He had a dream that he was going to have a daughter that he would be able to pick up for the rest of his life.
Wow.
And then when he had, you know, when him and my mom got married and got together and got pregnant, and they didn't find out that I was a little person until I was like 9 months old. And I was actually the biggest baby from my mom. I was the middle child. I'm the only little person in my family, but I was the biggest baby out of both my sisters. And so, but yeah, by the time I got 9 months, they saw that I wasn't sitting up like my cousin who was born a month before me. And he was like almost walking. And they were like wondering what was going on. And so then they took me to the doctor, and the doctor told them I was a chondroplasia and that I'm going to have short extremities and I wouldn't be no taller than probably 4 feet 2. And so my dad was like, that's the dream I had. That's the dream I had. You know, I had a dream. It's like God told me I was going to have a child that I would be able to pick up for the rest of my life. And so he told me, he was like, you should be a horse jockey. Because, you know, horse jockeys are under 100 pounds. Right. And you could be a horse jockey. And I was like, okay, Daddy, I'm going to be a horse jockey. So I got on television. He put me on a horse. And I was like, no, I don't want to be a horse jockey, because it felt like my whole insides was about to fall out right now.
Okay.
I was like, so then he's like, well, you could be an actress. You could do this and do that. And so then I was like, okay, well, I want to be an actress. And growing up, my mom was like, girl, there's too many struggling actors out there. And I don't see too many little ones on TV. So, it was, you know, especially women. At that time, you know, you only had like Billy Barty and a couple of other guys at the time. And so, but I stuck to it, and it came to me, actually, because after I graduated from high school, I took drama in school. That was my major. And when I got out of high school, an opportunity approached me.
Really?
And I've been in the business ever since. One thing led to another.
Because I know you live in Carson, California, correct?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, see, my family's in Carson. My family's in Carson. My grandfather lived right across the street from the Home Depot Center, right there in Carson.
Okay.
So he's right there. So we hear the concerts that's taking place over there at the Home Depot Center. But for you, what were some of the obstacles that you had to overcome in this industry, being not just a little person, but being a female and African American?
Well, one, being a little, like we say, it's like I had 3 strikes going against me, being little, being a woman, and being a black woman. And so it was, I was mainly like, it was sort of, it was good in one way and bad in another. It wasn't that many roles, not that many roles for us, so the little men would be more into getting roles than the women. But then at the same time, when they wanted a mixed nationality, you know, I was that card, you know. So, but you know, even though I was that card to get in, I had to overcompensate. Well, not really overcompensate, but it's not who you know to get in; it's what you know to stay in.
That's good.
And so I used that card as an opportunity to get in, but I had to work hard to stay in, you know, to stay my position. Because, like they say, sometimes it's easy to get up there, but it's hard to stay up there.
Right.
So, I just, you know, I was always a type of person who was going to prove, if not to myself, to society, oh, I could do it too. You know, like my sisters, they're both average height. My mom, I mean, everybody in my family was average height. My mom never gave me a stool. I never had a stool in my life until I turned 25. And so she never made any adjustments, you know. Well, she saw how I was going to get what I wanted to get regardless.
Okay.
So once she saw my determination, she was like, oh, well, I don't have to make no adjustments because she's already doing it. You know, accomplishing the same goals that my sisters were doing without, you know, any help.
So where did your confidence...
And that's what I like about the show. Huh?
No, I was gonna say, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I want you to know, where did your confidence come from? Because, you know, kids can be so cruel in school. And, you know, by the time you hit middle school, you know, we're worried about what we look like, you know, do boys like us in high school, you know. And so we're going through this identity crisis. Am I pretty? Am I not pretty? You know, when people start maturing. But it looked like you were able to keep your confidence. How was that for you?
Okay, well, in school, especially like you say, middle school, junior high school, middle school, 13, when you turn like 12, 13, that was very, very, very hard for me. It was very hard. One, because I ended up having, right before I entered middle school, I had 2 what they call brain surgeries. I had hyposyphilis. And so I had water on the brain. It was like an aneurysm type of situation. And so they had to shave all my hair off. And to be going through, at the age of 13, you know, you're going through acne and, you know, your body's changing. And then I'm going into a new school with new people, you know, figuring me out, trying to, you know, meeting me for the first time and not knowing how to approach the situation. And, you know, and me, you know, because our hair is our glory, is our vein, you know, and me not having it, it was, you know, growing back into like a little afro. And 12 and 13 years old, that's just not a good look. I mean, you just don't feel, you don't feel right, you know. You know, you need braces, you know. It was hard, and then being little too along with that. You know, it was like the boys wasn't looking at you. You know, they would play with you, but they ain't looking at you like your friends. They were like, "Ooh, that's my boyfriend," and do you like me? Right? Yes and no, and all this, and you know, And I didn't have all that, you know, but I did have friends who wasn't dating or into, you know, wasn't dating anything. So those are the ones who I kind of hung out with. And so we was like, you know, you birds of a feather flock together, you know. So, and the confidence, I want to say the confidence came in later, once I started really going to church and getting involved in the Word, and even I was listening to way back then, like Fred Price.
Love him.
And and so and I always wanted to go to that church, and my stepfather had took me there one time when they were on Crenshaw, and but I I just, cause, and you know, in the Bible, it said when God made humans, we were perfect.
Mm-hmm.
So, and everything, you know, we were made the way He wanted us to be made. And then after I started seeing other people, like, for one, this one girl, she was in a wheelchair. And she rolled up to me and she was like, I like your height. And I was like, what?
Okay.
And so then I was like, okay. And, you know, I was like, thank you. And then I thought about it. I was like, because she can't walk. You know, even though my legs are little and short, I'm still independent. I still could walk,
mm-hmm.
regardless. So it's almost like somebody that it's always someone that wish they were in your situation.
Mm-hmm. That is a blessing.
From that point, then I started appreciating who I was. I was like, I just started, I don't know, and I think being in the business too, kind of helped, because being, working around a lot of celebrities and stuff, and you're into hair and makeup and this and that, and then I was able to, get braces. I was able to go to the dermatologist, and I was able to go get my hair done and stuff once I started working. And I just, like I said, once I started reading my word and realizing, God made me for a reason, then it was a couple of times I could have died and I didn't. And I was like, okay, God, I'm here for something. It's something I'm supposed to accomplish, and so, and then my mom, she was a strong, strong woman. So, and she raised us to be real strong, independent women. And she was very nurturing and very loving. And my dad passed away when I was 13, and I was daddy's girl. So so at 13, it was just, oof.
So right in the middle of everything, yeah. Coming into a young woman and dealing with all of that, and it's your dad that kind of helps give you that identity of a woman. You're beautiful, and the man that loved you was a daddy's girl.
Right, right. And so it's a lot of things. Just life experiences just kind of made me stronger. And my mom always told me, which I guess came from Malcolm X, if you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything.
That's right.
And my mom always told me to think big. She said, do not put yourself in a box. Do not think small. And she's always like, my first car was a big car. It was like the Buick Regal. And that was like, people used to say, Tonya got that big old car. And then even growing up in my bedroom, I had a California King.
Wow,
bed,
girl, that's a big old bed.
Exactly. I used to only fit in the little corner portion, maybe 1/16 of the bed. I would mess up, But she always thought, she was like, always think big, Connie. Don't think small. Don't think small. And don't be small-minded. And I was like, okay, I got it. And so that's what I did. And when me and my girlfriend Terra, when Little Women LA came to play, I was like, I told Terra, I said, Terra, I want this show to educate our viewers.
But
I want them to know, I want them to see things from our perspective. I want people to see we can accomplish the same thing they accomplished. It's that sometimes we have to do it a different way. And that's just like being a child of God and letting God be your source, because He's gonna have you go through a different door. You're not going to go through the same doors or go through the same path everybody else goes through.
Because
And
Tonya,
so,
before you go, how did that even come about? How did they find you and Terra for you to get together? Were you and Terra already friends?
Me and Terra brought up the idea.
Really?
Hmm. And Terra had all the connections because people were coming to her for ideas. You know, because me and her, we wanted to do a talk show.
Okay.
It was going to be TNT.
All
Terra
right.
and Tonya and Terra, Dynamite. We was like, okay, we're going to take over the world.
I know that's
but,
right.
the production company wasn't ready for that one. So then we were watching Housewives of Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, Terra, you could be the Kim, and I could be the Nene. And then we was like, okay, let's see who else could, you know, what other friends we have. So we called all of our friends that we worked with or good with or whatever. And some of them called us back, and some of them didn't. And so it was about 5 of us, and Terra pitched it, and they snatched it up.
Really?
And so yeah, and then we end up meeting. Terra knew about Elena,
Mm-hmm.
and so they brought her in, and she was a great fit, and just one thing led to another. It was, and then Terra, you know, she's the executive producer of all of them. Little Women New York, Little Women Atlanta. So she's the brain behind all of it.
Go ahead, girl. I'm not mad at her.
So and that's what I told her. I was like, we need to educate our viewers, because my main goal, I told her, I said, you know what? Because me and her used to travel around the United States doing many impersonators. Me and her had a show in Vegas at this club called Crave by Planet Hollywood, off of Planet Hollywood, and she was mini Britney, and I was mini Tina Turner. And then we traveled. We ended up doing. She started doing Gaga, and I was doing Beyonce. And we traveled all. When I say we traveled, that girl had me. We was every weekend. We was in another state performing. And then we performed in New Orleans. We did a whole concert in New Orleans 4 years in a row.
That is amazing.
And she was like, Tonya, I'm getting tired of impersonating other people. I want to be myself.
Oh.
I said, I know. She's like, I said, because I'm getting too old to be doing all this dancing and bouncing around and choreography. I said, and portraying these young folks. I said, Tina is okay. You know, I can do Tina, but being Beyonce and Nicki Minaj and all them other, young girls, I said, this is hard on a sister. And so I said, Terra, one of my main goals in life was, when people saw me in public, I didn't want them to say, oh, look at that little midget, or oh, look at that little lady. I wanted them to say, oh, that's Tonya Banks. And I feel with this show, I've accomplished that.
What?
Because now people, when they see me, they say, oh, Tonya? They be like, Tonya? Like they know me. And I'll be looking like, do I know you? And they're like, no, you're on that show. And I'm like, oh, okay, I got it.
From TV. Because, Tonya, for you, if somebody called you a dwarf or midget, is that considered an offensive term?
Dwarf, no. Midget, yes.
Okay.
Midget it just has a very negative. One, we're not midgets, but it just has a negative, derogatory stigma behind it. Just like, and like I had said before, just like, another nationality calling a black person nigger. I mean, even though it's not right for us to call each other that, but how can I say? It's more acceptable because it's not said in a more derogatory way as it is if another nationality said that.
Mm-hmm.
Just like with little people. Some little people call each other. They were like, look at these, we all little midgets, you know. But they're in the family.
Right.
I mean, they're little shoes.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, you kind of can accept it. You know, just like with, you know, a person who's gay or something, you know, they can call each other names, but someone that's not in that category or don't fall in that category is offensive when someone else calls.
Wow.
You know, and I was trying to explain to people, just like your family, your sisters and your brothers, you will fight your sisters and brothers, but you're not going to allow no one else to fight your sisters and brothers.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
So it's that same thing. It's that same type of connection.
Mm-hmm. Like you could say something, but you better not say it.
Right, exactly.
You better not say it. So
exactly.
I get it.
You know.
Tonya, you know what? You have some nice arms, and I see you must work out. So, because I was looking at your arms on the show, I'm like, look at this girl's arms. Look at her. Look at her shoulders.
Yes, I've been working a lot, so I've been off my exercise regimen, but I'm about to jump back on the bandwagon. I do have an active line that I'm about to launch real soon. In fact, it's already in the store here in Culver City called Mansion. And it's an active workout line that caters to little women and average height women. Because on us, like I said, our bodies are the same, just our extremities are short.
Mm-hmm.
So the pants are like capris on the average height person, where they're full leg pants on us.
Oh wow! Okay.
And so, but I have jackets and yoga pants and sweats and tanks and I love the fabrics and the materials that I picked out and chose and put together, and the design, everything. I mean, I'm just really, it's like my little baby. And so, like I said, I'm excited about it. Health is very important. I know a lot of older people, they'll tell you, they'll say to the young folks, girl, you shouldn't worry about it. As long as you got your health,
that's
you
right.
Be fine. You're fine.
Yes.
You're fine. And, you know, because we take it for granted.
Yes, ma'am.
And I feel that if you take care of yourself while you're young, it'll take care of you when it's old.
Say that again.
And
I need you to say that, Tonya. Say that one more. Say that one more time.
If you take care of yourself when you're young, it'll take care of you when you get older.
I like that.
And I noticed, because I had to have a couple of back surgeries, spinal surgeries, and I was down on my bed where I could not take care of myself. I had to have inside care to come and bathe me and everything. And I was like, oh, I said, this is what the older people was talking about. You know, and after that, I said, you know what? Once I get off my back, get back up and moving, I'm about to get it together.
I know that's right.
I'm about to exercise and keep my body together, because I want to be, I don't care if I get to 109. I want to be able to walk, talk, be in my right mind, and take care of myself by myself. I don't want no one to have to take care of me.
Mm-hmm. And is the name of your line, is it called Boss Body?
It's Little Boss Body.
Little Boss Body.
And my logo is bosses come in all sizes.
How cute!
Because the clothes, my line is it starts at small all the way to 2XL.
All right.
It goes all the way to 2XL. So, yep. And so and my logo or my slogan is bosses come in all sizes, because I am a boss, and I'm a little boss.
Absolutely love it. So what else besides your little boss body line? What else are you working on?
Actually, well, I'm doing a fitness video, but we're still tweaking and working on that. It's kind of been on a little back burner for a minute, but I'm gonna have a little time off where I can really get back into that and jump on that. And I actually have like this cinnamon spread for toast and waffles and stuff, and so I'm probably going to try to get that approved and launch that as well. And it's other, I have like I said, my mom told me to think big. It's so many things I want to touch bases in, so that until things it's on paper or up and running, I'm not going to discuss it.
I know that's right. That's it. Sometimes you don't want to release everything into the atmosphere until, everything is straight. And that is really a blessing. And Tonya, after we finish this interview, I have a question to ask you, so don't hang up. And
okay.
I just want to remind everyone to make sure that you tune in to Little Women LA on Wednesday nights, 9, 8 Central on Lifetime.
Lifetime.
Yes, there's a big twist. There's twins coming into the mix, so we'll get a chance to see that. And again, Tonya, thank you so much for coming on the show. I mean, your story is so inspiring. It's motivating. It's encouraging. And I just want to say, keep up the great work and thank God for you.
Thank you, Lady Charmaine. Thank you for having me on the show. I mean, I love to kind of tell a little piece of my story. I mean, I love to try to, inspire and motivate other people that no matter what cards they've been dealt, you pick the best one and use it as your trump card, play the game, and win. Play to win.
I know. I love that. Pick the best one and play that card. Girl, I could talk to you all day. Girl, you got some good stuff. I'm writing notes, literally. You don't even, if you saw my little notepad, you were throwing out some good stuff. So thank you.
You're welcome.
Lady Charmaine live on Friday